was a trade yesterday between the Utah Jazz and the Brooklyn Nets. It's a very strange trade. Why would the Jazz do that?
When Utah Jazz traded away their 3 best players last summer, everyone thought they're joining the early tanking race for Victor Wembanyama. Instead, they have picked up 10 wins in first 15 games and have been magnificent offensively. The reason? Promising young coach Will Hardy, blossoming future all-star Lauri Markkanen, and a bunch of other solid players that enjoy playing together. My name is Augustas, and in this video we are going to look at how the Jazz are surprising the NBA.
Markkanen on the move! Oh, the throwdown! Right in Gobert's face.
Remember how teams used to play 5-out offense in the playoffs against Utah and embarrass their backcourt and Rudy Gobert's defense? Well, that is exactly what the Jazz are doing to their opponents now. They are ranked in the top 10 of both offensive and defensive rating standings, but it's Will Hardy's installed play with the ball that stands out the most. The youngest active NBA head coach, who has served as an assistant under Greg Popovich and Ime Udoka, has constructed a beautiful flowing offense where action stacking is in full effect, and all the players know perfectly well how to react to any defensive choice. Let's start with the delay action. We often see this wide pin-down screen in Jazz offense, which puts the defense immediately in behind. Teams are usually following around this screen, which creates a 2-on-1 situation, and the Lakers give Clarkson this mid-range instead of a drop-off pass to the big and a dunk. Notice that all 5 Jazz players are outside the three-point line. With Kelly Olynyk setting this screen, look what happens. Clarkson has a straight line drive to the rim because the Lakers' big is worried about Olynyk shooting the three. 2 dribbles into the paint in wide strong side help, which is almost never a good idea, and Beasley delivers. Grizzlies tried to cut the first screen, not allowing Clarkson or Sexton to drive right and create an immediate advantage, but the Jazz were quick to react. Vanderbilt changes the angle of the screen, Collin attacks the big, gets 2 feet in the paint, forcing unnecessary help and leaving an open Markkanen. Sometimes they reverse roles on this, and it's Clarkson setting the pin for Markkanen. Bigs are not that used guarding these off-ball screens, and Lauri has no trouble beating Davis off the dribble. In the next clip, be aware of the Jazz movement on the strong side. While Markkanen is curling after the pin down, Clarkson and Olynyk replace positions. Remember, Olynyk is playing the center position here, so his man, which is Santi Aldama, is definitely not used to defending off-ball screens and seeing his man simultaneously. Grizzlies miscommunicate, and it leads to another free.
6 threes in the quarter for Utah.
Probably the biggest staple of Hardy's offense are these little handoffs, handback plays. Super dangerous in transition, they can create early and easy 3-point shots for a team where all 5 players are more than capable of knocking down from behind the arc. The natural defensive coverage against it is going under, meaning Olynyk, Beasley, and others could look for possible immediate shots. Especially dangerous they are in transition when everyone tries to get back under the ball and is expecting to pick up the closest person whenever they cross the 3-point line. But if the Jazz make this handoff so high and opponents don't switch somehow, there is no way the next person is getting nowhere near enough to prevent the catch and shoot free. Utah are 7th in transition points per possession this season, and this little detail is a big thing why. Also, everyone seems to have an extra level of confidence this year. If seeing Jordan Clarkson or Malik Beasley let it fly early in the shot clock is nothing new, even Talen Horton-Tucker, who isn't known as a volume shooter, is not afraid to let it fly from deep. Successful threes allow the Jazz to have one of the most efficient early offenses in the NBA.
Clarkson does not hesitate. Nobody on this team hesitates.
Going back to half-court sets, say hello to Horn's entry once again. Utah simply passes to Olynyk first, and then plays off the off-ball screen between guards. It's rare they get something great at the first option as they do here, but they are excellent at continuing the play. Wizards are closer, but they opt to follow over the handoff, can you see the pattern? Thus creating a 2-on-1 opportunity for the Jazz. Against more aggressive coverages which don't allow the first guard to receive, Jazz simply use the keep option with the big holding the ball until the second guard arrives, or simply isolating 1-on-1. Lauri loves that right-hand drive, and Anthony Davis seemed to know nothing about it. In the next occasion, he keeps it for the second guard and makes the short pass. Lakers follow over, Conley turns a corner, and Davis is not there to influence the shot. Grizzlies and Jazz played 2 games in a row, so Memphis had something prepared. They top-lock Beasley here, so he cuts back door, forcing Alexander Walker's man to retreat back and help. Jazz guard pops back and attacks the long closeout with success. They actually did it twice, showing that the work in the training ground pays off. Now it is time to announce the sponsor of this video. Every year, Dr. Sinnig Hair Hospital treats more than 10,000 patients worldwide while providing them with a welcoming environment. The clinic has high-tech equipment, more than 20 years of experience, and a higher success rate than most hair transplant clinics. Make sure to check the link in the description where you can have a special 10% discount using it. And now, let's get back to talking about Lauri Markkanen and the Jazz. The next play I'm about to show you is my personal favorite. In the first game of the season against the Nuggets, it started as their end-of-quarter design play, but it worked so well that now it is a major part of their offense. It is a simple pick and roll, but with a third player, usually a guard, who shallow cuts right across the big man into the position of the ball handler. What it does is that it creates a huge area of space for the playmaker to attack, as well as eliminating the possibility of a high tag for the rolling big. Look at all the space Conley has here, with Beasley's cut creating too much chaos for the Lakers to handle. The Jazz later start by ram screening the big before shallow cut across, making it even harder for the opposing big to defend it. Jokic is late as Conley steps back for a wide open three. Sometimes it might seem like a ram action into a double screen, but the Jazz are simply toying with the opposition, trying to throw them off since the teams are recognizing it more and more. Some teams, like Atlanta here, decide to switch to negate the possible advantages, but with Jordan Clarkson on the ball, it's not always the best idea.
Clarkson, right to the rack.
One more thing that stands out watching Utah play is how they approach the offensive rebound dilemma. Many teams in the NBA, like Brooklyn, are refusing to send players to crash the glass when the ball is in the air, stating that transition defense is far more important. Meanwhile, Will Hardy is sending free players to surround the painted area. And so far, this project seemed to work in Jazz's favor. Here's the basic logic behind this. The average distance of where the ball lands after a 3-point miss is a bit more than 4 meters. That's why you see Utah's players run and stop somewhere around the lines of the paint, where the distance is around 3 to 4 meters. At the making of this video, they are 7th in second chance points with 16.3, while LA Clippers, for example, are last with only 8.6. Obviously, court balance suffers a bit with such an extreme tactic, as Utah are 3rd worst in transition points allowed, while the above-mentioned Brooklyn are the best with only 15 points allowed. However, such strategy has helped Jazz in multiple games to get more shots than their opponents and win close contests. It will be interesting to see if this pattern continues to succeed.
And the rebound again. Vanderbilt is relentless.
Speaking of rising patterns, Lauri Markkanen's stock has been on one. As we already saw in this video, he is involved pretty much everywhere, coming off pin downs and driving right, spot up catch and shoot opportunities where he is at 40%, but also he has been extremely solid on post-ups. He has the complete package of size and enough quickness. Lauri is shooting a formidable 50% on post touches, and knowing that most of these are tough fadeaways with a lot of contact makes it even more appealing. If Jazz keep winning, Markkanen will be looking at his first NBA All-Star appearance. Honestly, there is so much to like about the Jazz offense, and we didn't even talk about all the other stuff that seemed like a random thing during the game, but was for sure emphasized in teams' practices. 45 cuts on baseline drives? Check. Bullet passes to strong side for ISO attack on the catch? Check. Baseline out-of-bounds play that punish teams that cheat? Check. A year ago, Jazz had 26 nationally televised games. This season, they have only 4. But Will Hardy, Lauri Markkanen, and others are making sure the Jazz are your league past most favorite team. What do you think, guys? Will it benefit the Jazz long-term that they are not tanking for Wembanyama this season? Write a comment down below, don't forget to like this video, and I'll see you in the next one.